Imagine for a moment that inside you there's a secret fire, a fire that doesn't burn your skin but transforms your soul, a fire that doesn't destroy but cleanses. This fire has been sought after by mystics, sages, and seekers for centuries. They've called it many names: Holy Spirit, Prana, Kundalini, but there's one name that crosses cultures and time: alchemy. But we're not talking about the alchemy of turning lead into gold. This isn't about old experiments with crucibles and retorts. We're talking about a deeper, more powerful, and more dangerous kind of alchemy. Spiritual alchemy, the lost art of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, ego into awareness, shadow into light. What if I told you that right now you're in the middle of an alchemical process and don't even realize it? That every setback, every loss, every breakup you've gone through is an essential step in your inner growth. That you're not a victim of chaos, but an apprentice in the great work. In this video, we'll uncover the mysteries of this sacred science, hidden for centuries behind symbols and metaphors. Together, we'll explore the principles of spiritual alchemy and how you can apply them to completely transform your life from the inside out. Let's lift the veils of the obvious and get to what really matters. We'll see how ancient civilizations like Egypt, Greece, and the Hermetic schools already knew that true transformation happens not outside, but within. That matter is simply a reflection of spirit, and the real gold is awakening consciousness. Even more importantly, I'll show you how to recognize which stage of the alchemical process you're in right now, and what to do so you don't get stuck halfway through. Because this spiritual journey isn't a straight line. It's cyclical, spiraling, full of symbols that only an awakened heart can understand. Get ready for a journey inward, a descent into the crucible of your soul, where the ego's impurities are burned away and your true essence rises like the purest gold. This is the beginning of your great work, and there's no turning back. Official history says alchemy was just a medieval precursor to chemistry, a curious practice obsessed with turning lead into gold. But that's just the surface, a dull shell hiding a mystical core, a secret map to the highest spiritual transformation. True alchemy is much older than Europe's labs. Its roots go deep into ancient Egypt, where the followers of Hermes Trismegistus guarded the sacred laws of the soul's transformation. Texts like the Emerald Tablet and the Corpus Hermeticum didn't talk about metals, but about the human soul as the primal substance. Lead was the sleeping ego, gold was awakened consciousness, and the process required not a furnace, but an inner fire. The Greeks inherited this wisdom and blended it with their philosophy, especially through Neoplatonism. Thinkers like Plotinus and Plato's followers talked about the soul's ascent from the material world to the divine. To them, the visible world was just an imperfect reflection of a higher realm, the world of ideas, spirit, and eternity. But it was in the Middle Ages that this wisdom was wrapped in symbols, myths, and riddles. European alchemists, persecuted by religious authorities, hid their knowledge in books like the Mudus Liber and the Splendor Solis. Dragons, serpents, kings, and skulls filled their pages, not for decoration, but as coded language for those who could read it. Spiritual alchemy was a dangerous path. The transformation could drive mad those without a strong inner foundation. Sufi mystics, tantric yogis, and Taoists knew this too. Across cultures, the idea emerged that humans are microcosms, a whole universe within that must be purified, aligned, and ultimately enlightened. The alchemical process has parallels: purification, nigredo, illumination, albedo, and sacred union, rubedo. These stages represent not just inner change, but true rebirths of the soul. And though the symbols differ, from the phoenix rising from ashes to the lotus blooming in mud, the message is the same. Humanity isn't finished. It's a work in progress, a great work. Today, in the 21st century, this wisdom is coming back, not as dogma, but as a necessity, because never before have we been so disconnected from our inner fire, and never before have we had such power to rekindle it. Spiritual alchemy is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight or behind temple walls. It takes place in the body, in emotions, in thoughts. It's a transformation where the traveler returns changed. To understand it, we need to dive into its three main phases, three gateways that reveal not just the mystery of the soul, but the truth about yourself. Every alchemical process begins with what the sages called nigredo, the black stage. It's the symbolic death. It's when your familiar world falls apart, you lose your bearings, your identity fragments, and pain becomes your teacher. In today's terms, it's depression, existential emptiness, the dark night of the soul. But it's not punishment, it's cleansing. In the crucible of life, the soul boils away what no longer serves you. False beliefs, attachments, masks, everything has to dissolve. It's the moment when something inside you must die so something higher can emerge. It's uncomfortable, sure, but also sacred. The inner alchemist knows that darkness isn't the enemy. It's an ally, because what doesn't die can't transform. After purification comes albedo, the white stage. This is when clarity returns. It's like coming out of a tunnel and seeing light, not outside, but within. You start to remember who you really are beyond the ego. You stop searching outside for what's missing because you begin to realize the true gold is inside you. At this stage, many people begin to experience deep peace, vivid dreams, or meaningful coincidences. Intuition sharpens, emotions settle, and a new way of seeing life unfolds. It's as if something in you has been washed clean by celestial waters. But watch out, this light is fragile if you don't protect it. The ego may try to sneak back in. The work isn't done yet. The final stage, the most mysterious, is rubedo, the red stage. This is where sacred union happens. Not a sudden flash of insight or mystical escape, but real integration of soul and body. You're no longer someone searching for spirituality. You've become it. Your life, your actions, your words, they all flow with coherence. Rubedo is when the internal change shows up outwardly. Your relationships shift. Your surroundings respond to your new energy. You've embodied the philosophical gold, not a metal but a vibration, conscious love, aligned will, awakened being. And here the cycle starts again, because alchemy isn't a finish line, it's an upward spiral. Having grasped the three major alchemical phases, nigredo, albedo, and rubedo, it's time to uncover the symbolic codes and the inner resistances that protect this wisdom like a sacred flame. Spiritual alchemy isn't just a process, it's a trial, a series of locked doors that open only with deep understanding. Ancient alchemists knew the soul doesn't answer to rational words, but to symbols. That's why they didn't write straightforward philosophy, but books full of cryptic images. The dragon, the raven, the rose, the egg, the green lion. Each symbol stands for a psychic energy in the transformation. The black raven, for example, represents the death of the ego in nigredo. It's not a bad omen, but a sign that something inside you is ready to fall away. The dragon, a creature of fire and earth, represents the raw force of your shadow, your buried desires, anger, guilt. Facing it is necessary to free stuck energy. The philosophical egg symbolizes the inner vessel where transformation happens. You are the egg, and inside you, the new you is growing. Symbols aren't meant to be memorized. They need to be felt. They're vibrational keys. Meditating on them, drawing them, even dreaming about them, awakens parts of your psyche. Real transformation always meets resistance, not because the universe wants to punish you, but because the ego fears disappearing. On the alchemical path, doubts, self-sabotage, old wounds resurface just when you think you're making progress. This isn't regression, it's a test. These are the guardians at the threshold, unconscious forces blocking entry to your new self. Their role isn't to stop you, but to reveal what you haven't yet loved or understood. Many souls get stuck here, mistaking resistance for failure, when it's actually a sign that transformation is near. If you can stand in the fire without running away, without judging or giving up, something new will be born. None of this works if you don't light your inner fire. That fire is an alchemical blend of conscious will and true devotion. Will without love becomes control. Love without will turns into avoidance. But when they come together, they create the heat the soul needs to melt, purify, and finally become gold. So, spiritual alchemy isn't just knowledge. It's practice. It's a daily dance between what you know and what you live, between what you hold on to and what you let go. It's the lost science of coming back to yourself. It's easy to see spiritual alchemy as a high-minded idea, a mystical relic wrapped in ancient symbols and metaphors. But its real power shows up when it hits the ground, when it touches your daily life, your choices, your relationships. Because a true alchemist doesn't live in ivory towers but walks the streets, feels the emotions, and faces the challenges. Here are some practical steps to bring this ancient wisdom into your daily life. They're not magic tricks, but seeds of change. First, embrace your chaos without fear. When you're going through a crisis, don't run from it or judge it. Remember, you're entering your negredo, the dark crucible where the old dies. Write down your feelings, sit with them, breathe with them, watch them break apart without fighting. Naming chaos takes away its power, denying it only makes it stronger. Tip: keep a transmutation journal where you note your shadows, repetitive thoughts, automatic reactions, not to judge yourself, but to shine a light on your patterns. Second, cleanse your inner temple. Albedo won't arrive if your body and environment are overloaded. Spiritual cleansing starts physically. Clear your space, turn down the noise, cut back on excess. Every unused object, every toxic thought you hold on to, is lead keeping your gold from shining. Tip: dedicate 1 day a week to silence and reflection. It's not punishment, it's a way to let your soul breathe. Third, use the fire of intention. Any ordinary action can become alchemical if you do it with full presence, from making a cup of tea to looking someone in the eyes. When you bring together attention and intention, you create sacred heat, and where there's heat, transformation happens. Tip: when you wake up, quietly repeat a simple affirmation like, "Today I am a channel of clarity and transformation." It sets the tone for your day. Fourth, bring what you learn into your relationships. The rubedo stage isn't reached by isolating yourself, but when your transformation affects those around you. You become more patient, more honest, more compassionate. That's when the gold you've cultivated becomes real. The real test isn't in meditation, but in how you speak, how you listen, and how you respond when someone hits a sore spot. Tip: pick a challenging relationship and ask yourself, what part of me wants to react, and what part can respond from awareness? Fifth, practice simple alchemy. Light a candle with purpose, charge a stone with intention, take a deep breath before a meeting. Anything can become a ritual if you do it consciously. Magic isn't about grand gestures, it's in loving repetition. Throughout this journey, we've crossed the hidden thresholds of spiritual alchemy. We've descended into nigredo, where darkness exposes what's unhealed. We've risen to albedo, where clarity begins to reflect regained purity. And finally, we've caught a glimpse of rubedo, the sacred union of your divinity and your humanity. But alchemy isn't just theory, it's fire. And that fire only sparks when you choose to light it. Today, in a society that rewards distraction and punishes inner silence, becoming an alchemist is a sacred act of rebellion. It's telling the universe, I'm willing to remember who I am, despite the collective forgetfulness. That decision shifts your energy, your perception, your path. Your soul doesn't demand perfection, it demands authenticity. It doesn't ask you to be a guru, repeat formulas, or isolate yourself from the world. It just wants you to remember that inside you is a substance more precious than any physical gold. Awakened consciousness. That consciousness holds creative, healing, and transforming power. You don't need to escape life to make it spiritual. You need to bring spirituality into the life you already have. Your relationships, your body, your choices, your silences. That's your laboratory. Every time you light a candle with intention, every time you face your shadow without judgment, every time you choose love instead of pain, an ancient chain breaks. And in that moment, without you even noticing, hundreds of awakened souls across time and space celebrate with you. This path, while it may seem personal, is woven by a network of silent alchemists, some embodied, others without bodies, all working toward the same goal, freeing the light trapped in matter. Don't wait for an external sign, it's already here. This message, this synchronicity, this urge to learn more is your initiation. Don't ignore that spark, protect it, nurture it, let it grow. If this message spoke to you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share it with anyone you feel also needs to remember. Because the more we share this wisdom, the more we help ignite the fire in other hearts. Thank you for being here, for seeking, for remembering. Keep moving forward with courage.